T20 World Cup 2024 is up and running, and we have a very, very important game out here. England take on Scotland, ladies and gentlemen, and it's going to be a mouth-watering game, to be very honest. Let's take a look into here. I have Gian with me. Gian, what do you look into this game? It's England versus Scotland. What's your take? What do you look into this mighty English side versus the versatile Scotland side, who got a better performance in the tri-series, couldn't win it against Ireland, but still the performance mattered.
Definitely. I mean, see, going in with these are direct rivals. You can say neighboring rivals, and they have never faced off each other in the T20s. But I remember there was a series where Scotland in an ODI series, Scotland were quite competitive versus England. I think they had
Correct, yeah.
scored a mammoth of 390 runs, and I think they had England were almost about to chase, but Scotland had won that game.
Fought
So
back and defended.
they
Yes.
they can give upsets for sure, but again it's England, they're defending champions, and they will be looking to start their winning campaign on a winning note. So definitely, I will say I fancy England taking this, but as I say, you never say never in cricket. Like you don't know what can happen. Upsets have
Absolutely.
already upsets have already happened before. England had been beaten by Netherlands in 2009. 2010, I think, if I'm not wrong, 9 or 10. I think that was their
The
winning.
opening game of the World Cup.
Absolutely, and they had ended up winning the World Cup. So these upsets can keep coming. So Netherlands beating the South Africans last World Cup campaign, that caused South Africa team to get eliminated from the semi-final spot. So you cannot count out any match as a you can say a one-sided match, or you can say it's just a one-horse race. Anything can happen in a T20 game.
Absolutely. Anything can happen in the game of cricket. Anything can happen. And that's the reason why people say never lose your hopes until the final ball of the game. But you said about you reflected back to a game in the ODI format, Gian. I must tell you, before that, let's take a look into the head to head between these two teams. And here is the reason why I was about to say these two
Yeah.
teams have never faced each other before in the T20 format, which is the shortest format of the game. So they're facing each other for the first time. What do you look into this one, Gian? What's your thing? Do you think it will be challenging for teams like Scotland because it's a new side, very promising players? England, defending champions, heavyweights, just came out for the series victory against Pakistan. So what's your take? How will both
Yeah,
the teams sum up?
definitely. See, I mean, England facing on the last time they just took up Pakistan. These two teams were the finalists, and they faced up each other in a much like you can say it was a warm up series for both the teams. But England edging out in that 4 match series, but two were ended up getting washed out. So, but they were looking prominent. I mean, despite losing the toss, also they looked very confident enough. I mean, they just lost a bit of track in that 4 T20 with their wickets were falling. But again, their fielding, the bowling are absolutely up to the mark. And I think they're looking challenging this year, and they won't let that title defense go so easily. Like they will try their best to maybe retain the title. But I think starting off with their neighboring rivals, Scotland, I think it's going to be a challenge. As you just said, they have not faced each other
Correct.
each other at even once before. So, it's a challenging for both the teams, I must say. England shouldn't take Scotland lightly at all, because Scotland are a team which are always learning, and, can cause upsets. They can cause huge upsets. So they will be looking to maybe upset England, starting off. If it could be a major boost for Scotland, because if they beat England, it would be like you're beating the defending champions in the first match. That adds a lot of pressure, and then Scotland can go into the second game with a lot of boost. So you can just
Absolutely.
say, yeah.
As you can see in the Group B, this is the game of Group B, and that, as you said, if by chance Scotland wins this game, it opens up the group because they have Namibia in this group. They have the mighty Australians in this side as well. So that group might just open up if we have a shocking or if we have a surprise here. But I must tell you, these associate sides are no more a surprise. They play to their potential and they give their best. We're done with the head-to-heads. As you've seen, ladies and gentlemen, it's all zeros out here. So I'm predicting, and I know as well there's no last 5 matches to look into. But still, let's go on to the last 5 matches to watch out for. So there's no game, unfortunately, before. So this is the first time at the biggest stage, Gian, they're facing each other. How will be the nerves when it comes to, especially from the Scotland side, because they're facing the mighty English side?
as I said, that defending champions, that thing will be in their heads. That would be in their heads. I don't think they will be fearing them at any cost. But yeah, they would have to go against a side who has a batting till number 11. If they are, if that, if you can see, because there is Adil Rashid, there is Jofra Archer, who's just back from a long-term injury into the
Correct.
squad, directly playing an ICC tournament. He last played a T20, or I think that was in a year and a half before. So it's quite fascinating to see him back, and that would be really, really special. Reece Topley, who was injured during the IPL, has been, being selected there, and that is going to be that. There is a lot of batting also involved. There is a lot of fear is bowling there is involved. Yet they will be missing the likes of Ben Stokes, who won them the World Cup final last time around. But I think because Phil Salt and Joss Butler are looking in some tremendous touch. I mean, Joss coming back
Absolutely.
from an IPL, carrying that form into the T20 series against Pakistan. So I think they would be looking to add that thing and maybe carry on. But yeah, I think for me, if I say, I think England should edge this by quite comfortably. If
Okay,
I'm
England
looking at
should.
it in a much easier way.
So he's looking into a neutral point of view. He says the defending champions will start proceedings in a winning stage, but where will they play? Let's take a look into the pitch report of this game. It's at the iconic Kensington Oval at Bridgetown, Barbados, Gian. We all know about the stadium. 24 matches have been played here. 16 times the team that has batted first has ended up being the winner. So it's going to be a day game. So toss might be crucial, but similarly, no dew. So we might not see any dew just because it's a day game. But what's your take on this one? Spinners will definitely come into play.
Yeah, I don't think the toss would really matter for a team like England. If they are put to bat first, they are going to mere score about. For me, on this kind of pitch, with the batting they have, they are easily going to score a 200 plus. That's definitely. And given the bowling, I mean, I think it's Jofra Archer's, home roots. He's been born and brought up from. He's from Barbados, and these kind of wickets will kind of suit him also a lot. Those fast, pacey
Yeah,
wickets, and we could expect a lot of bounce also on this wicket. And Jofra, no better than Jofra Archer coming into that squad. Definitely, but so I think, yeah, with there's Liam Livingston, there's Adil Rashid, there's Reece Topley, there's a lot of players who can hit out of the park. There's Moeen Ali in the squad, so they have a lot of options for batting, all rounders, bowlers, everybody. So I think it's a quite balanced side, and I think, given I don't think the toss would matter for England, but yeah, Scotland might have nothing to lose if they win the toss, they might elect to bat first, put a good total. But again, then for a good total, they will need to bowl really, really well, because
absolutely.
England are a side, who can finish and kill the game inside 15 overs itself.
Absolutely. Absolutely said the right thing, but you forgot about one pacer as well, who's as lethal as Jofra Archer, which is Mark Wood. Talk us
Mark
through
Wood,
the
absolutely
delivery of
correct.
Azam Khan. How was the delivery to Azam Khan?
Uh, would rather see the drop catch first, because that was the highlight of the game. But other than that, yeah, that delivery was absolutely unplayable. I mean, you couldn't see. You could see that there will be Jofra Archer coming from one and bowling at 140 plus. There will be Mark Wood, who would be touching 150 plus. So as I
150, yeah.
said, so definitely, I think if Scotland are batting first, they will have to score at least 175 to 180 runs to even try and be in the game. If anything lesser than that, I think it's going to be a walk in the park for a team like England.
Absolutely. So you said it very nicely about the pitch report as well. We're done with this. When it comes to England and Scotland, they have a little bit of rivalry as well. Let's take a look into the top three players to watch out for. Yeah, the three players I've chosen, Gian, it's Josh Butler, Liam Livingston, and Adil Rashid for me. And for Scotland, is Munshi, it's Matthew Cross, and as well as Mark Watt as well. What's your take on these six players, please?
Yeah, I think quite remarkable, all of them. But for me, if another, as I said, in this game, I would watch out for a player for Jofra Archer. I think definitely the guy who can literally, turn tables around. He's as I just mentioned earlier, the guy born and brought up in Barbados. He has the West Indian roots.
Flavor,
So,
absolutely.
and I said he's coming from a very long term injury, second long term injury to be more precise. So he would be firing, and obviously Mark Wood definitely going to be very, very, that thing. So Scotland are in for some kind of fireworks. for sure. So yes, I think quite good. But other than that, I would even say Reece Topley. Reece Topley, a player, left arm bowler, who can literally topple the innings of any team. He's a left arm pacer. Those
Correct.
kind of wickets, the swing, the pace he can generate can, literally, maybe you never know in the side power play, he can take up 3, 4 wickets, and the game can be done and dusted over there. So these two, like, definitely players to watch out for.
And a little bit about the Rashid in surface like England, he was turning the ball. How what will he do in Barbados?
Adil Rashid, definitely. I mean, you cannot take out that experience from that man. I mean, you cannot even say that the guy is getting older, but the guy can literally turn tables around. I mean, today, even if England are 7 or 8 down, if Adil Rashid is batting, and if they need around 12, 13 runs, you can know that
He
Adil
can do
Rashid is
that.
a player who can smack the ball out of the park.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And talking about the Scotland players as well, your Munshi is a fire hitter at the top of the order. Your Matthew Cross, the wicket-keeper batsman, he has been a sensational form for Scotland in the recent past in Tri-Series. And you have the versatile Mark Ward. You know a little bit of Mark Ward, Gian, I believe you have seen it in social media. He's the only bowler that uses paper in his pocket and sees the notes out there before bowling to anybody else.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
that's
That's
very
quite
unique
remarkable.
of
But I
him.
think these three are, the main guys out there. They would be that experience also counts there as Bunshi, as you mentioned, the top order. That fiery. If you never know if they are batting first, if it's a proper batting track, batting paradise, and if they use the techniques well, and if they use the Archer and Wood space, and
Correct.
this guy can literally go berserk inside power play. They could end up scoring 65, 70 runs also. Not ruling that out as well, but again, they will have to tackle the likes of Adil Rashid over here because the guy can literally turn sides in a flash. That guy can bowl
Absolutely.
googlies, and Adil Rashid has done remarkably well in West Indies on West Indies wicket whenever they have toured
Absolutely.
the country. So definitely, I would say it's going to be a good, exciting contest. I think.
Absolutely, you said the right things, and have 100% agreed with this. We're done with the players to watch out for. Let's take a look into the top three battles in this game. Yeah, three battles I have chosen out here, Jihan. It's George Munshi versus Jofra Archer, Phil Salt versus Chris Sole, and Liam Livingston versus the experienced Mark Watt. Which one are you definitely watching?
And definitely the above Jofra Archer versus Munshi only. But for in place of Jofra, I would also want to see how Munshi tackles Reece Topley over
Chris
here.
Topley?
That left arm pace would be a little bit more challenging because this is left arm paces. Are always a threat. We saw in the recently in the warm up also where Arshdeep took that new ball and how lethal he was against Bangladesh. So that would be a very big challenge. And of course, Arshdeep, highlighting in the 2022 edition against Pakistan also at AMCG how he
Correct,
took out Babar
correct.
Azam. That LBW. So this always challenging. When you are a batsman to face a left arm bowler, it's always going to be a big challenge. So yep, I think that's the battle I'm more excited to watch here.
Okay, so you're looking into battle number one, which is Munshi versus Jafra. Not to take away Chris Sole, he's a very good disciplined bowler with the new ball. Does Phil Salt go berserk on him because he has been that kind of player? Bringing the from the Kolkata Knight Riders has been sensational. Liam Livingston, the all-rounder, will be key, but here he plays spin really well. Will Mark Ward have his number out here? It's really going to be interesting to see. We're done with the key battles. Let's take a look into the predictive playing 11. Starting with the home side, England, and here is my predicted playing 11. Gian, Josh Butler, Phil Salt, my openers, Will Jacks at 3, Harry Brook, Liam Livingston at 4 and 5, then your Moeen Ali, you have Sam Curran, Chris Jordan, Adil Rashid, Jofra Archer, and Reece Topley. This sums it up pretty much, but how do you drop somebody like Johnny West out here?
You don't really have to get Johnny Best to in because the amount of you name me one balance side as England, I would stop doing the videos for you honestly because I have never seen a more balanced side in a T20 game as England are.
Correct.
This is maybe a kind of change what they are doing. Having a different team for Test cricket, having a different team for T20s. So this is how they balance the side, and this is how they get all their players to get enough game time and enough experience because these guys all you can see till there is I don't know if you sometimes you say that there is batting till number 7 number 8 but here I can say the batting is still
But there
number 11
is
literally. I have
10.
seen Reece Topley batting at number 3 and 4 many a times promoting up the order, And I don't know. There is Sam Curran who can open the innings over here. There is Will Jacks who has opened. I mean, every spot over here. Well, there's Will Jacks, Harry Brook, Livingston, Moeen Ali, all can hit out of the park over here, and it can go big time. So even if England topple in the power play set, if they get 2 or 3 down, they have a lot of batting coming their way, and
Absolutely.
definitely the bowling. Chris Jordan is being bowling really well in the game against Pakistan. Also, the way he was bowling. So I think these guys,
And the death
are going to
especially.
be a big challenge. They are going to have the teams are going to have a real tough time facing this side. But again, not a difficult not to think because getting England out is basically making them bad first, restrict them to a reasonable total, maybe less than 200, and chasing them down. That is the only way to tackle things. But I think in this 11, it is very difficult. This is such a side that we can. It is difficult to accommodate a player like Johnny Bairstow or even a pacer like Mark Wood. So do you play
Correct.
a Chris Jordan here or a Mark Wood or a Reece Topley or a Mark Wood? That is going to be a big question. But I think Reece Topley might edge it as he's a left arm pacer. But again, then you have Sam Curran. So there are plenty of bowling options as well. There is Livingston who can bowl you that leg spin. There is Moeen Ali who can bowl the off break. There is Will Jacks who
Off
can
break.
bowl you the off break. So there are a lot of options here in batting and bowling as well. And obviously, they one of the best fielding sides in the world as well. And Josh Butler, no better player as a captain as well. So definitely, this is going to be a very interesting 11.
So I must tell you, against the series against Pakistan, Sam Curran was dropped and then play Mark Wood in place of him. So do you think his all-round skills will be in the bench?
So I see. I'll tell you. Maybe it might be a tactical move as well because Sam had just coming into the series. He just played a big tournament. He captained the side of Punjab Kings. He's already played a lot of games, and Mark Wood was not available for the IPL. So maybe that was one of the reasons that maybe they were giving game time to him, and maybe unfortunately it was unfortunate that they couldn't finish all the 4 games. But maybe if they had all 4 games available, definitely I think Mark would have played all 4 of them, and Sam Curran might be, you can say it could be just a much needed rest for him, maybe just to get warmed up well for that series. But I really don't see Sam Curran getting dropped because, this guy can even bat over here. And, that left arm, he can open the bowling in the power play as well with Jofra or Reese. So whatever they are going, I think this guy can even open the innings in terms of batting. So I think really difficult to count, leave Sam Curran out of that 11.
Okay, it's very difficult to leave Sam Curran out of the 11, says Gian.
Just to
We will see.
highlight, he was the player of the tournament in 2022. So
Absolutely.
I would not take Sam Curran out at all at any stage.
Absolutely, he was a player of the tournament. I was about to come out here as well, so it's going to be difficult. A little bit of headache, which all the captains would want when it comes to team selection when you have everyone available. So Josh Butler needs to take it account. But talking about the Scottish side, I think this keeps it a very simple and set 11. You have George Munshi, Charlie Tier. I think they are a very good opening pair. Then you have Brendan McCullum. Then you have Richie Berrington, the captain, solid batsman. You have Matty Cross, Michael Lees. He's very handy with the ball, with the bat. Mark Watt is there, Chris Greaves. So there are 3 spinners, and then you come on to the 3 seamers. So very balanced side, I must tell you, Gian, when it comes to Scottish side as well.
Definitely. I mean, look at this. There's Munshi, there's Dare. They are all power hitters like Brendan McMillan at the top three. These top three are very, very good power like hitters. They can give good starts. And obviously, as you mentioned, this Chris Greaves. He's a good experienced guy. He can turn
Correct.
things around. And I think Scotland, see, pretty much have nothing to lose. They can maybe get off to a good start in the tournament. I'm not saying that it is impossible to beat England, but if they go out with an intent and with a winning mindset, they can definitely compete in this game and not leave this as a one horse race or let England just walk away with it.
Correct.
I just want to see that winning intent. You never know, when you have that winning momentum, it just clicks. Sometimes a team like England also has collapsed a lot of times. They have faltered. They have faltered definitely. So yep, definitely this side is good, pretty much good. They will have a lot of learnings definitely in this tournament for sure.
Okay, so you are saying it's a very balanced side. Let's hope Scotland gives a fight. You may never know, as he rightly said, Gian, at the beginning of the show. Cricket is a very funny game. Anything can happen on the given day. We're done with the playing 11. It's time. Let's move on to the predictions time now. It's time for the predictions out here. Match number 6, England versus Scotland. At the beginning of the show, you kept saying that the defending champions might get a win. What's your percentage for this one, Gian?
80 to 20% for England.
Okay, 80-20 straight away because I think he's going with the favorites. He's going because it's a big side. They are not going to lose, but he's going 80-20. Let us know, ladies and gentlemen, your predictions as well in the comment section. Thank you so much, Jian. Thank you to all of you for watching this one. Match number 6, all the way from Barbados. It's England versus Scotland. Sit back and enjoy. Don't forget to subscribe to the Fifth Umpire. Press the bell icon as well. So thank you so much, and bye bye.